This is Sports Matters with Jerry Coughlan.
It's so retro.
We cover all the biggest sports on the planet. MMA, boxing, snooker, football, darts, you name it, and we cover it.
Okay, so welcome to Sports Matters. I'm me, Jerry Coughlan. I'm joined by Cork City legend and current Limerick FC player John O Flynn. John, how's things with you?
Very good, thanks. Nice to be here.
We know you're very busy. It's been, first of all, a great season for Limerick FC and yourself. The goal tally, unbelievable. What's it been like this season so far for you?
Very enjoyable. Obviously, we've been winning most of our games.
Yeah.
We've a cup final coming up. We've wrapped up the league already, so and personally, I've got a few goals this season, so
You have.
it's been good already.
Good stuff. And of course, it's great to see you score the goals you're scoring because we know you can do it. We have to go back to the early days. Tell us how it first started for you. How did you get involved in football? And of course, did you play GA as well by any chance? Because we'd always ask the lads, were they involved in the hurling or the football back in the day? But how did it start for you first day?
Probably started with hurling and football, playing for Cove, playing for the school, Rushbrook. And it was probably only district league days, under 12 or 13 probably it would have been.
Yeah.
Just playing with my buddies. We'd have a district league in the summer. Noel Ryan, the Springfield manager at the time, came up, watched one of the games. He asked me would I like to come up training. So it's probably late enough starting for me, 12, 13-ish.
Yeah.
But played with Springfield the next season and it kind of went from there really.
And you made up for lost time. And of course, you made that move to England. I say it must have been a dream come true because obviously underage you were making the impact. Everyone was seeing the name John O Flynn. You were scoring the goals, you'd done everything underage. But what was it like to get that move to England and play with such a big club?
It was great. At the time, I went to Peterborough United. They were a big U team at the time.
Yeah.
And we were playing the likes of Arsenal, Man United. So it was great to go from the football I was playing over here to playing against the likes of United, as I say, Arsenal. Really enjoyed my time over there. Probably disappointed to come back, but when I did come back, it was the start of summer soccer. So I literally came back in the middle of May one year, and they were just starting the summer soccer, so it started in June. So
Yeah.
I had no time to get the head down or think about it, and it was just like came back straight into football again. So really enjoyable.
And of course, we remember when you signed for Cork City. I remember back in at Read the Echo and stuff, and there was a couple of lads that signed. But I think your debut was against St. Pat's, wasn't it?
It was against Shelburne.
Shelburne, yeah. It was 2 goals.
2 goals, yeah. The
Yeah.
Shells had won the league the year before.
Yeah.
A new team for Cork City, new faces. So we just went out with no fear really and played them off the park.
I remember the game well, and like back then, of course, you'd have the Cork City games. It'd be on the old Chorus channel, so we'd all get to watch it. But that team in general, first of all, what was it like coming back to Cork and joining Cork City? How did that feel for you?
I just came back. I wanted to keep fit. Went up. I remember I got onto someone who put me in touch with Brian Lennox.
Yeah.
Went up to him, just asked him could I go up and train with the lads. So I had a couple of training sessions, watched the game, and then ended up signing. But it was great to be back. I didn't know much about League of Ireland football. I didn't know much about Cork City at the time.
Yeah.
But it was kind of thrown in at the deep end really. But
You done well and you succeeded.
done well, yeah.
So them couple of seasons with City, I'll never forget them personally, and I think any Cork City fan won't. But the likes of yourself, Georgie, Kevin Doyle, doing the league, of course, all that kind of stuff. What was it like playing with them lads? And of course, what was the atmosphere like with Pat Dolan, first of all?
It was great. As you say, we had some great players, some great young players, some players who carved a career out of playing with Cork City.
Yeah.
But as a group, it was just like going out playing week in, week out with your best buddies. We were a really tight knit squad. A lot of Cork lads there.
Yeah.
We had the likes of Dan Murray who came over, and he'd probably consider himself a Cork man at this stage.
He is, yeah. We'll take him as a Cork man as well. He's a legend.
We just had a great squad at the time, and it was just great to be playing football in the Cross. Playing week in, week out in front of the old shed.
I remember it. I remember the John O Flynn chants, and I remember the Benno chants, and they were the days. But that team, I always say, and people would say, in general in Ireland, that team is probably one of the best ever, if not the best, to come out of the League of Ireland. So what was it like to win the league first of all? And of course, you got the Irish caps. I remember you scored a couple of goals for the 21s. What was it like to get the call up for the 21s?
Yeah, it was just coincidental at the time that we were obviously doing well as a team with Cork City. I got the recognition.
Yeah.
I was scoring goals, got into the 21s, scored goals for the 21s. I remember we played Germany in Turner's Cross. You know, it was a home international for me.
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, I always remembered my first pass. I actually got the ball and went to pass it out to the right winger, and I kind of overdone the pass, you know.
Yeah.
And all the lads were in the stand watching me as well. All my teammates like on. I never forget Georgie said that the place just went silent, and then one of the Cork City fans just said, "Get onto the," you know, it wasn't my fault. I guess I was the homeboy, like it was his fault, like, "Get onto the ball, you," or whatever. So just went from there, really. You know, it was a bit of a crack. The lads in the shed watching.
And like, who did you enjoy playing with most? I know it's hard, and of course I know all the City lads will probably see it and they're like, "Oh, why didn't he pick me?" But like, if you could pick 2 or 3, who did you enjoy playing with the most?
You know, the talent was amazing, really. The players that I've played with and the players that have come through Cork City doors and gone on to bigger and better things. You know, there's probably too many names there, but selfishly for myself, the best player I've ever played with was probably Georgie. Just personally, I knew I made a run and he just put me in, like, you know. So selfishly as a forward, you want someone who's going to find you, who's going to be unselfish towards you.
And Georgie knew you well.
And Georgie was that. I remember up in Derry even, we played Derry away and he squared the ball 4 yards out to me so I could tap it in, like, you know, like, that's unheard of, like, you know.
It is.
So, you know, he was fantastic for me, and my first year and a half with City, he was, you know, the main cause of most of my goals, really.
He was, I remember. And of course, unfortunately, the club got in trouble then, as we know, and of course, a lot of lads went back across channel as they had to. What was it like going back to England and, of course, joining Barnet, because you'd done so well there? Like, player of the season, and you got some nice goals. But what was it like going back and, of course, making a name over there again, you know? Yeah,
it was, you know, difficult at the time, but it was nearly the same situations when I came back from England to Cork. I didn't have much time to think about it. I just went straight into playing football. It was the same thing. We literally had a meeting 1 week to say that, you know, everyone could go on a free. It was coming up towards the end of the transfer window in September, and my agent at the time managed to know the Barnet chairman. He was from North London. So it was literally on the Monday we had a meeting. On the Friday I was over in Barnet, and on the Saturday I was starting, like, you know. So no time to think. But you know, it was probably a good time to go. You know, a lot of lads stayed and stuck it out, and you know, went through hard times. You know, in fairness to them, they came out the other side of it now, as we can see with Cork City now. But you know, personally for myself, I always wanted to go back and have a crack at England. So. You know, it just came at that time.
Definitely. Now, remember, like, even like in maybe your second season with Cork City, there was always, you see on the Echo, Ipswich were interested. There was a lot of clubs interested. Like, there was obviously earlier mentions of you maybe going back earlier on, but are you glad you kind of stayed that bit longer and didn't go straight back?
Definitely, yeah. You know, it would have been a bit of a flighty season if I came back and then went back a year after or something like that. But, you know, the way things happened, I ended up staying, you know, 6.5 years with Cork, so I really enjoyed my time. If I went back that season or the season afterwards, I wouldn't have won the league. You know, we wouldn't have won the cup, so you know, would have been a few medals down. So you know, I wouldn't have had them experiences that I did have. So
it's worth it in the end. And of course, you left Barnet then and went to Exeter. Like, what was it like then going to League One and of course making that step up again? Did you enjoy your time there?
Really enjoyed my time. Yeah. When I went from Barnet, I actually went to Bristol City. I done a full pre-season with Bristol City at the time. They had a couple of issues, so I was waiting. Nicky Maynard at the time, he was injured and they didn't know if he was going to be out for that long. It ended up that he wasn't going to be out for too long, so it was a case of, you know, find somewhere else. And, you know, I went down to Exeter, met the manager, really liked it, and, you know, had an enjoyable 4 years there.
I remember, like, you'd always watch the Gillette Soccer Saturday. I know Flynn would always pop up with a goal and you'd be like, come on, you know, you'd always watch out for the Cork lads. But personally, if you like, you know, do you still get? I know you're playing like Limerick this year. You've had a great season, but would you try and get to the Cross every now and again if you get a chance, or is it just kind of you're busy? You're too
busy this season, but just even a couple of weeks ago there when they played Oman, I went down to that game. You know, it's great to be out. The Cross is always a special place for me, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. You know, so just to be out there and just to be involved in it is great. It's
always an honour. And last of all, of course, like you've still got a couple of years left in here. You're still banging them goals, okay? With Limerick next season, you're up in the Premier Division. What are you hoping for Limerick? Because like, what you've done this year is incredible, and you want to go, obviously, the season unbeaten, but for you next year, you hoping to mid-table, or why not go further, like, you know?
Yeah, you can put a place on where the club is going to be.
Yeah.
Like they obviously got relegated last season.
Yeah.
They stuck to their ethos. The Markets Field, similar to Cork, it's a one club city.
Yeah.
So the support there, if you're doing well, is great. We've sampled that now in the first division. We're getting crowds of 13, 14, 1,500. Which is unheard of really in the first division. So, I wouldn't put a spot on where we're going to finish next season. Yeah. He's obviously going to build now in the off season again. We had the likes this year of Aaron Green coming in. Yeah. He's played for Pats the previous 2 or 3 seasons. A vastly experienced player. So obviously Martin's going to want to build on this year.
Of course.
And we beat the likes of Galway. We beat Wexford this season already. We beat Derry. Yeah. We've a cup final coming up. So we're kind of judging ourselves on them games, and we've won 3 out of the 4 games that we played Premier Division side. So, we're just going to try and finish off the season on a high. We have a cup final coming up soon, and we have an unbeaten record to uphold as well. So, hopefully we can do the business on both fronts.
Good stuff. And just last of all, best goal. If you could pick one goal, what's your favourite goal? Probably hard, because you've got so many good goals. But if you could pick one, what would stand out the most for you?
Best goal, not sure. Most important goal was for me. Family for the last night of the shed. It was that night that we played Derry, just to get, we weren't really nervous all that week, but the onus is on us to go out and win that game. Derry had to draw that game, so just to be able to get that first goal to calm everything down and just set that night, just it was really special for me, my family, being at home in the hometown club. So definitely that goal that night was the special one.
Perfect, John. It's an honour as always. Thank
Perfect.
you very much. And
No
we wish you
problem.
all the best for next season and, of course, the rest of the season.
Check out all the latest interviews with Jerry and the Stairs weekly on Sports Matters.